Adoption is a great way to build a family, and there is a lot to consider and a lot of questions that you want to ask yourself before you can really determine if adoption is the right path for you.
Here are some questions to answer as you consider this option. First, is it important for you to adopt a newborn, or are you open to adopting older children or perhaps a group of siblings? This is a journey where the pregnant person leads the way. Again, is that okay with you? Next, only 1 in 4 adoption agencies welcome all families. If you are ready, have you checked the Human Rights Campaign website for solid and innovative agencies? Know your team is important, so take the time to build a good one.
So when you're thinking about foster care adoption, really think about the age of the child that you were hoping to parent. Knowing that if you want a younger child, that they're most likely not going to be legally free yet, and so you're really going to have to be on board with supporting the plan of reunification and being okay, having the emotional tools to kind of go through reunification, and having potentially multiple kids leave your home to reunify before you are able to adopt that child.
Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. We're all built differently, and what's right for you may not be for someone else. The first thing is, are you looking to parent temporarily to help a child, or would you like to create a forever family? Here at Extraordinary Families, we do both. We support parents as they care for children while they're in foster care temporarily. And we also join children with their forever families through adoption. The other thing you want to spend a lot of time thinking about is your openness. What is your openness in terms of how old the child is, or whether they have siblings? Also, would you be open to parenting a child that has special needs, or perhaps one that has been exposed to drugs or alcohol while in the womb? Children enter foster care due to no fault of their own. And we at Extraordinary Families believe that they all deserve a happy, loving home.
Another question may be, are you ready for the home study process? For building the profile, for the wait, to be matched? Are you ready for the process, ready for the journey? Also, are you ready for the fees? Like all options, they can come at you fast. And are you really ready? Is your partner ready? Are they on the same page as you? Is your support system all in? And most importantly, are you ready to celebrate? That's the step I love the most.
I think some of the most important things to consider and to ask yourself is how you want to go about adoption. Are you interested in foster care? Do you want to work with a private adoption agency, which either will work internationally, domestically, or both? Do you want to perhaps work more independently, one-on-one with just a social worker or a lawyer? Some other really important questions to consider are the complexities of adoption. What types of things are you ready for? Knowing that nowadays most adoptions are open adoptions, meaning that the birth family has some line of communication with you. How do you feel about open adoption, knowing that that's most likely the case for a domestic private adoption? Are you willing to parent a child with special needs? Are you willing to parent a child who might have lifelong medical needs? Are you willing to be in what we call a visible adoption, meaning that a child is a different race from you? Do you have a community that will support that? Will your family support the adoption? There are just a lot of personal questions and considerations that you really have to look at when you're looking to build your family through adoption.
Other things to consider about foster care, it's just really nationally we're moving towards a trend where there's more of a partnership between foster parent and the birth parent or the first parent. And so just assessing your ability to really work in tandem to support reunification, even if your ultimate goal is to adopt a child. Going back to the age, really think a lot about that. If you're really wanting, a brand new newborn from the hospital, and really are afraid of the reunification and kind of that emotional toll, foster care adoption may not be the right path for you. Young babies like that, very likely that they will be placed with a relative or with their parents, and so you would have multiple placements before you'd be able to adopt a younger child. It's doable, but just want to make sure you know that there is that ask that you really support reunification first and then see where things go. One last thing to consider when you're thinking about foster care and adoption is just your ability to handle a child who has some type of special needs. the kid's going to be coming into foster care because of documented neglect or potential abuse, and that can lead to varying behaviors or things that you may see in your home. And so just thinking about, do you have, a really trauma-informed parenting lens, or can you get that training to parent that way? A lot of the kids in our system are going to be have impacts of substance abuse. Either they lived in an environment where that was happening, or when they were prenatally exposed to drugs or alcohol. So that's going to affect their development both in the short term and long term. So just making sure you're really read up on that and feel comfortable parenting a kid, because adoption is a lifelong commitment. And so not knowing where some of the struggles may come up based on the kid's trauma history, it's always good to just be prepared for that.